welcome to the show. We are doing a special little presentation here on a Friday, but we thought it would be kind of fun to do another live detailing session. Now, with that in mind, you guys are here to enjoy a little bit of Colourlock action. We will be working on some leather seats, or rather one leather seat in particular, in this Volvo XC90 owned by one of the cameramen here at the Rag Company. So let's take it out to the studio and see what Levi's doing out there right now.
What's up, guys? Well, you know, it was one of those Friday afternoon kind of things that we thought of this week, like what could we do? What could we do that was live? What could we do that wasn't too crazy, wasn't too time intensive, but really gave the viewing audience, you guys at home, something to really go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was possible. And, you know, maybe feel like you could take it on yourself. Now, we had filmed a detox this week with the boys from Colourlock, and that kind of got me thinking. And then we were working on a video for a solution finish thing. And Sebastian and I started just, you know, talking, figured out the seats on his XC90 behind me, well, the driver's seat is bad, and it is gross, and it needs fixed. And we have all the products available at theragcompany.com to be able to fix this seat, which is something that we thought, well, heck, there you go. There's our live. And why not? It's another excuse to get Anthony back in and to get Ram in here to help facilitate this. So we thought, let's bring the boys in. Let's have some fun. So gentlemen, hello and welcome. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here. It's a pleasure.
Anthony, are you still frozen?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Anthony's totally frozen. That's amazing.
All right. So that's just
messing with us.
par for the course, right? Okay. So why don't we just have Levi tell us what's going to be happening today at the car there?
Not a problem, Dane. So if we can get a camera back into the seat over here, basically it is very worn. Now it is black leather, and there's some wear marks from getting in and out. Looks like it was from the back of the belt, rubbing on the seat, as well as the bolster from sliding in. So we've got this, we're going to move to the camera here. We've got this bolster here, which let me get the lights on so that people can see exactly what we're kind of talking about. So it's this bolster here, has a lot of wear on it, and then the back of the seat here, as you can see, has a lot of discoloration. So what we're going to do is just clean everything on this seat, and then I'm going to be using the leather refresh kit from Colourlock that we do have in our store that you can pick up, and it comes in black, and that way we can basically revive and refresh this seat. Now, Ram, you were saying basically this is a professional level repair job. That's one of the beauties of the Leather Fresh.
Yeah, this is a professional level repair. The finish that you should get should also be a very good, high quality finish, even though it's a wipe on, sponge on product. But yeah, the key thing in making sure you get that finish is just to make sure that you follow the prep very well. So, you know, clean it very well, degrease it, get rid of all the dirt and grime on the surface before you put that paint on.
Yeah, so one of the things I've got out here, so I've got all my tools. As you can see, I've got some towels, I've got my Diet Pepsi, I got a brush, I got the leather vinyl kit, and then I actually do have the steering wheel restoration kit, which is quite similar and able to touch up the steering wheel if we need it, but I already cleaned that. It looks really good, but I am going to steal two products out of the steering wheel restoration kit that we don't have in the main kit, and one of those is the degreaser and the leather sanding pad. So that way we have just those, you don't need it, but it is going to help allow the product to bond a little better, correct, Lars?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah? 100%.
So I'm going to open this kit up for you guys. So what comes in the kit? Anthony, you're back, which is nice. I'm thankful. I'm happy to see you there.
Is he?
Thanks.
I think he's still. Oh, okay. I'm thinking he's still frozen.
He's just quite delayed. Yeah. Honestly, Ram, you seem closer than him.
Yeah, it's funny. So what comes in the kit? We've got our mild leather cleaner, which is great. So we'll clean the surface with that. And then we do have our Leather Fresh, which is our, it's primer, paint, and, which is the primer, paint,
Clear
and
coat.
clear, all mixed into
Yeah.
one. So that'll be great. And then when all that's done and dry, we're going to use the sealant as our topping, just to make sure that helps provide abrasion resistance as well as.
Levi, quick question: are you going to be using a heat gun?
I am going to be using a heat gun. That's one of the things you need. So you're going to need a heat gun or a blow dryer if you're at home and you don't have access to a heat gun. But these are cheap. This was like 20 bucks at Ace Hardware. So
Not bad.
it's a good thing to buy if you haven't bought a heat gun. I recommend it. It's a very inexpensive tool that you'll find yourself using for a lot of different things. I've used it to like help dry car paint, like when I'm spray paint stuff. So, all right, and it comes with a glove just in case, and a couple sponges so we can dab on. I couldn't hear you, Anthony. Go ahead. Oh,
Frozen.
That's okay. Sorry, Anthony. We're gonna ditch you.
Oh no, nothing.
oh, he's back. There we go.
Oh, wait a second. That's all right.
So I was
He's
just
trying.
making some comments about the heat gun.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
Oh no, I was saying that you said that was an inexpensive heat gun. I actually paid $40 for that one, so I just
That's what I'm
hope
saying.
you
It's
enjoy
not
it.
too bad. They go up in price. You can get them for like 150. You can get them for a lot of money. This is just a $40 heat gun, so not too shabby. All right, so back to what I was going to do. So we're going to use the Colourlock brush. We're going to scrub with the mild leather cleaner, and then we're going to be going over everything with the Leather Fresh. But first things first, we got to get this thing clean. So well, if you want to come on in there and get in the other side, and we'll start cleaning this bad boy. So everybody can see. Now I also have some strong cleaner with me. Dane, do you have any comments yet?
I do have comments on my phone as a backup
All right.
system. Unfortunately, the regular comment system, I can throw them up on there, isn't working quite yet, but I think we're getting there. So I can go ahead and check those in between you working there.
I appreciate it. So we're
Nothing coming up yet, from what I can see on my end.
Thank you, Anthony. So Anthony, what have you been doing today?
So today I built out a list for upcoming sales to have during 2021. So I've kind of been thinking about certain things and thinking about how we could have some really cool, fun sale ideas maybe upcoming year. And Instagram, social media as usual, and I'd say that's pretty much it.
Well, you're just all kinds of breaking up on our end.
Unfortunately, I think
So-
Anthony is going to have to go. His internet might be the most atrocious thing, so
I
we
doubt you get him
we
much
gotta
work done as well,
give
to
him
be
the
honest.
boot. We want him here. Believe me, we want him here.
Hey,
It's
that's-
just
The beauty is, though,
indecipherable.
Ram is like 5,000 miles away, and he's crystal clear.
Exactly. So we know
Amazing.
it's possible. Meanwhile, Anthony's all of like 15 miles up the road.
Yeah. So, Ram, how was your guys' Black Friday, Cyber Monday? How'd all that go?
That went really well. We got a good number of orders, and yeah, we just spent probably up to Tuesday, Wednesday, just sort of dealing with the orders, and then we had a small group, just 2 people in for training yesterday and today. So, and we've got a Morris Minor interior that we're working on. We've also got a Volvo 850 interior that we're working on. So it's been a pretty full-on week. So yeah. What about you guys? I heard you guys were pretty stacked up, right?
It's been crazy, that's for sure. We've been thankfully trying to get everything out that of all the orders that came in over the weekend and for Black Friday. So needless to say, it's been a rough one for the crew, but we haven't been able to go over and help. That's, I think, been the hardest thing. Normally, years past, we can go over and help, but because of COVID, we're trying to keep everybody apart.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use some strong cleaner for those of you watching at home. I'm going to use some strong cleaner on this. I used the mild cleaner, and while
Yeah.
it's working, there's still a lot of grit, especially on this bolster. I think, you know, the arm, probably some lotion. So I want to just use a little more stronger cleaner. So what's the difference between mild and strong?
So they're both, let me start with the similarities. So they're both water-based cleaners, right? So it's not like the Strong's got a solvent-based product or anything like that. They're both water-based cleaners, but the strong leather cleaner is just a higher pH value, and subsequently has a stronger cleaning action. But we generally recommend people to stick with the mild leather cleaner as much as possible. Only use the strong if you've got something that's heavily dirty or a particular area of the seat that you find or think is quite dirty. But you'll notice whilst you're working with it, now that you've got two products in there, you'll feel that the strong cleaner is actually quite oily in comparison to the mild cleaner.
Yep.
Right? So that's why if you use the strong cleaner, especially before you're going to put the paint on, probably even more essential to make sure you degrease it straight after.
Exactly.
Before putting the paint on.
Yeah, you do notice that it's a little, the suds almost stay around longer. The soap suds stay around longer on the surface. So
yeah, but they're both
funny.
Safe to use water-based cleaners.
Nice. I was saying it was funny. I was cleaning when I was going over this car, doing a couple test spots. I was worried because this leather was so dirty that this leather was maybe not fully black, and
right.
I think I sent you a picture, and I was like, I hope this cleans up, and so I grabbed some strong and just cleaned the seat and was like, oh, that's black. Yep, that's black leather. Once I got it clean, it's like, oh man.
The color starts showing through.
Yeah, it's like, oh good, we found it. Yeah, it's funny because you don't realize, and I think a lot of people don't, you know, they bought, Sebastian was telling us his parents bought this car brand new, and he got it. It's his main mode of transportation when as it's passed down, so to speak, through the family. Right. And he's never, they run it through a car wash and they vacuum it, but that's about it. And so when we were talking about it, I had him bring in his car and we cleaned up the steering wheel because it was pink due to all the lotion and skin and stuff and makeup and stuff that was on the steering wheel. And so then I said, well, we need to really get into this leather because it's in good shape. This seat's really the only one that is the most damaged one, has the most wear, I guess I should say. So.
Yeah. In most cases, it is always the driver's seat because I think that's the one that gets used so much more than the other ones.
Especially if it was his mom's main commuter seat or commuter car. That's what she used. But yeah, it's cleaning up really good. So I'm excited to see when we do get the. You can see this is wet. This is where the wear is, but it's wet, so it's not as brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna use some strong on this because. I don't know if you can see this, Quinn, but this is all what I'm talking about. See all this yellowing and pinkish stuff, and that's just makeup and skin that's been lodged in.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot shinier as well, that particular area.
Yeah, especially if you compare these two spots where I've cleaned and where I haven't.
Hello, Lars.
Lars is in here too. What's up, man?
Well, all good, all good. Nearly middle in the night in Germany, but I'm happy to join you too. And right now you do an awesome job, Levi. Very well.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And Lars, we have to say, I think yours and my internet connection seems to be a lot better than what Anthony's getting these days, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, Anthony seems to not be able to communicate with us, and he's not that far away. I don't even think he's 15 miles, Dane. I think he's like 6 or 7 away from us. It's not even that far.
You should cut away his work from home perks, I suppose.
Yeah, right?
No, I'm
All right, so I do have some
12,000 kilometers, so 8,000 miles, something like this.
All right, so I've got some questions here. I'm just going to start pulling them up on the screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's start down the line here. Just a few people saying hi, but it looks like Innovate Texas was starting off simply saying rags to riches was a solution to an old minx issue he had. Old towels came out like new. So that is what we want to hear. Those are the testimonials we're looking for. And so far, it seems like everyone I've heard has been coming back a home run, if not, at least as good as any other detergent, but better for the people who had sealed towels, which is the whole reason you would want to go for something like this in the first place. So, follow up with that, I've got G. Davis here saying, what are the most important factors in deciding to use the sandpaper? Maybe Ram or Lars could speak to this one.
I think there's just the one factor, really, which is how rough is the surface.
Okay.
So, that bottom, the base of the seat there that Levi's working on, that looks to me like it's quite rough. The cracks are quite deep. So there's going to be a lot of high spots, quite likely. And if it is rough, that's when you've got to sand it down, because sanding just sort of gets rid of all the high spots, gives you that nice smooth finish. So that would be the only reason why you'd want to sand during prep, mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, that is in the beginning. A second reason could be is that you sand when you apply a color, you dry it, that you sand between the layers to get a more even area. So like that you blind it out with the sanding pad, So rough areas, sanding down, then degrease, and then apply 1 layer or 2 layers of leather fresh, and then sand it maybe again to remove some stripes, some tapping points, some bubble points, what you see, to make it more even. Degrease again or remove the dust and then apply again. Then you get a more even layer of color and you get a more smoothly leather also. Is it correct formulation?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. So it's mainly during prep, but even like during applying the paint, in between layers of applying paint, if you sand it down, again, that just gets rid of the high spots from dabbing the paint on as well. It gives you a much smoother, nicer finish.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that on this right here, you can see there's just a little split or wear mark that started like a little cut. It's not through yet, but definitely is there. So that might be something I address later another time. That we can do a video on and kind of show.
No, but this is something for black filler or flute leather, no? So this is too deep to fill it up with
paint,
just with color, no? So when you go with your fingers over the surface and you will stop with your fingernails, then it is too deep for paint. So this is you need filler black or flute leather.
So I've got a few more questions here for you that may be useful. I've got Nate Taylor here. I'll pull him up on the screen. What do you recommend for fixing the start of a leather tear?
Literally what we were talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I thought it was relevant, was he was wondering. All right. So then a follow-up with Will Alexander. Hey, guys, what vacuum do you guys use to vac out cars?
Just a shop vac.
I mean, that's usually the way it goes.
Literally, yeah, that's what we do. I do have some compressed air that I'm going to use to try and blast out some of this. Just make sure.
Rest in peace, eardrums.
Yeah.
So I use a Garcia one to a vacuum cleaner from Garcia. what is specially designed for workshops, but I think you can use anyone. That's not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think as far as the actual, the suction factor of it is concerned, you can use a lot of different vacuums. A lot of times it's what tips you're using on them. A lot of times it's like crevice tools, things like that, that are going to be more useful. So the actual, auxiliary peripherals, whatever you want to call them, those are going to be the things that make the difference most of the time.
Yeah, allows you to get into the harder areas and whatnot.
Yeah. And let's see, I've got Umberto here with a not leather-related comment, but he's talking about rags to riches. He says he used it on old wheel towels that were gray from dirt, and they almost came back completely white as they originally were, totally discombobulated. So he was really blown away. So that's great. I love to hear that.
Good. Well, to all our friends that are overseas, and we're working on getting rags to riches.
We promise.
So it can go
going as fast as we
everybody.
Can. Then I got Roy here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I feel just that I have to try the RTR2.
Yeah, no, we gotta get some in you guys' hands there. I've got Roy here saying, "Hello from Norway. Can you tell us about how stiff brush you use?" He wants to know how stiff of a brush he should use. There was a little bit of a translation there.
Well, you can just get the Colourlock Rag Company brush.
I mean, that's a safe bet right
or
there.
Or any of the Colourlock brushes.
Yeah.
And it's actually just the
So
perfect.
this is a Colourlock brush, just a little bit bigger, so that it is more friendly to use. So it fits better in the hand than to this brush what Colourlock has for the last 25 years, and it's produced in a small family company in south of Germany. So it's a synthetic fibrous that it doesn't heat up. The problem with natural fibers from horse, for example, that they heat up and you brush very quick over this. So it's a synthetic fiber, and so that is something what we use in the last 25 years and works well. And now we have a bigger version because the rag companies say your brush is awesome but too small, so we did a bigger for you guys.
It's for my old arthritic hands. That's why.
Every little bit helps.
But all people across the global loves now this bigger brushes. That is really the people say, oh, that was a good idea, thanks to TRC.
Well, it's like when you get the remote for the TV that has the buttons that are like 10 centimeters wide.
Yeah, right.
Just a humongous remote.
Well, I think they make cell phones too that just have big, oversized buttons on them for folks.
Yeah.
I've got, okay, here's a good one, actually, for all you guys. We can kind of go down the line. I got Jacob Terry here. Jacob says, to do a repair like this, what are you normally charging? Because I know Levi mentioned this can be like an add-on service, that kind of thing.
I mean, just the one seat, usually I'd, if you're just doing the one seat, I'd be charging anywhere from about $150 to $200.
Okay.
I think that would be a reasonable price to charge. But I think you'd benefit from trying to upsell 2 front seats at the bare minimum, just so you've got the 2 front seats looking good. Otherwise, you'll have one that looks fresher than the other. So try and do the 2 front seats, and probably I don't know what the rate would be in the US, but
you can make it like a package deal and give them a little discount if they get both done.
Yeah,
I could see in where we are in Idaho, I could see easy charging $200 for both seats to do just a refresh on the front leather.
I mean, this is that's very independent where you are, and so in Germany you can charge for one seat easy 150, 200. In the east part of Europe, you can't charge so much, so you just can charge $100 or something like this. So, and then also in the US, when I look to California, you can charge 250 to 300 for sure. In Florida, I think the same. And when you come up to North Carolina or South Carolina, then maybe you charge 180 to $200, but it's always around
Varies.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
around about $200 is what you need. And when you are familiar in this, it is not so time. Also you don't have to spend so much time. It's done very.
No, it's very easy. It's very easy, and it doesn't take that long as well. You know, and straightforward. You know, so not something that's too complicated. And I think a black one is a good place to start with. You know, because a black seat you don't have to worry about the color match and all that kind of stuff. It's a great place to start. You know.
Especially
But it's nice
for
having
those that are getting into it. Sorry, Dane. No, but for those folks who are maybe wanting to dip their toes in leather repair, maybe they haven't done it before, this is a much better process than maybe going and buying a can of SEM paint and spraying a seat. You know, this is a much better step. It's easier. It's, you know, you're not going to make a mess. There's a lot of benefits to this, that especially if you just want to put your toes in the water, you know.
Yeah. I was just going to say, from somebody offering it as a service, it's nice to always have services that are relatively simple and easy to do on your end. They don't require a ton of like meticulous kind of maneuvering. You can get it done and get a good price out of it. Those are the best jobs you can get.
Yeah, and there's so many little things that you can do just as a treat for the customer. So what we do is every time we do a repair for someone, we've got a product called the Leather Essence. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a leather smell. And we've also got a lot of, it comes with a leather patch, basically. So we just simply coat that leather patch with the product and just leave it inside the car. So, you know, when the customer comes in, he can smell, the car smells, it's got that nice new leather smell to it as well.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
so
smart
those are just
idea.
little bits that you can do and just make the customer feel like they're getting so much value for what they're paying for as well.
It's got a big visual impact. That's the nice part. So it really feels like you've done something.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a few more here in the queue I better get to because it's starting to pile on now. I'll go ahead and throw in one. I think Tim or Anthony may have written this one. Levi, can you describe the feel of the leather before and after using just the cleaner? They want to know the difference and how it feels.
It just feels, you can actually feel the leather. Before you're kind of feeling all the skin and oil and then grease and everything on top of the leather.
Sure.
So you can definitely feel it. So in case you guys are wondering, I'm just using the heat gun to just kind of warm everything up, but I'm not like on it. So I'm
Well, and
literally
we've
quite a
had the
ways
car
away.
inside the studio all day today, so it stayed pretty much in normal room temperature kind of temperature.
Yeah.
It hasn't been outside in the cold.
I
Otherwise, you
just
would
wanted to
have
add
to
a little
spend some
heat
more
to it
time
to
on
kind
it.
of help dry out some of that wetness on that spot that I'm going to work on. And then grab the sanding pad.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got Will Alexander here. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, about the sanding pad, I just want to say that it is a sanding pad, so the sanding paper is on a sponge. So that is very helpful when you go over stitches, that you don't rough it too much, or when you come to a curve, or when two parts of leather come together, that you don't have it too rough. So sometimes I have customers, they use a normal sanding paper, and then they are surprised that they remove
went
too
too
much
far,
color on curves or on stitches. So it really makes sense to use a sanding pad, so sanding paper on a sponge, because the roughness is then on harder areas, not so heavy.
It's not that
one
aggressive,
thing
yeah.
also, when
Yeah.
you go over stitches, be a bit careful. So don't sand too much over stitches. So go
Around
nearly
it a
to the
little bit.
stitches and then around of the stitches. Don't go really hard over. I mean, on this Volvo, we don't have this issue right now, but sometimes we have stitches on top, so different color maybe also, and then don't rough it too much. That's the only thing what you have to look at. And it is impossible to sand too much. You can't sand a hole in leather or something like this. It is,
Yeah, you won't go down to the bare foam underneath. Hey,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about
And
that.
I'm just going very,
Yeah.
very lightly over this. I'm
Yeah.
literally just letting it kind of do the work for me. I'm not trying to put any, you can see my fingers are just resting
Yeah,
on the pad.
and if you go like circular motions, kind of like the rotary does,
Yeah.
you probably find that it's removing a lot more. And you can
Right.
use your left hand at this point just to feel the leather, see if it feels a lot softer and smoother now,
Yeah, exactly. So I've wiped all the way up to the headrest because the headrest also, you can see up here, had some oil, hair gel, kind of gross. I removed all that, but you can see that the gel had removed the colorant out of it too. So we're gonna fix that.
You take care of that.
Yeah.
Okay. How about I get to a few more questions here while you're mid-process? One was actually the Will Alexander comment I had about something breaking in and being expensive. He was talking about the shop vac he had before. Apparently, it was a pretty expensive unit. He said it lasted 2 years and cost about $600.
Wow.
So I think we could definitely do better than that in the value department. Just with a simple shop vac. I mean, like rigid ones, stuff like that. You pick them up at Home Depot. Those are a great example here, at least in the U.S. I'm not sure what's available internationally, but perhaps you guys, Lars, Ram, some options for people overseas if they're wondering the same thing.
Well, I mean, we've got something called as Henry the Hoover. That's just bog standard stuff, but it's something that's very popular, works very well. It's nothing crazy. I think it's about 125, $140 or something like that. And it's pretty good. It's very, very good value for money. Which one, sorry?
For a heat gun, or what is it?
No. So the vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum cleaner. Okay.
Oh, we're talking about the vacuum cleaner, right? Not the heat
Yes,
gun.
we are.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
So
because the heat gun was a topic as well before. So yeah, just to clarify. Okay. Yeah. So we've got something called Henry the Hoover. That's what I use. I think Lars, you were saying Karcher. Is it
Yeah,
Karcher? No, sorry. You pronounce
Kercher.
it Kercher.
Kercher.
Okay. Yeah.
No, we pronounce it Kircher. So this German brand with for home and garden series, it's yellow, and for professionals it's gray stuff. And Kircher is not cheap, but that is a machine you buy it once in your life and then you have it. So that is the question. I buy it because it is a German brand, and so just do this, and maybe when I live in the US, I will buy a Milwaukee or something like this.
Hey, you support local. It's always nice.
Yeah, right. Anthony does that. He supports them too. He bought his pressure washer from Karcher. So
I've got Ricky Cologne here. Just wanted to throw him up there because he says, jumped from Facebook to YouTube. Looking forward to restoring the steering wheel in my wife's Honda Pilot with my Colourlock kit.
nice. Good job,
Excellent.
man.
Ricky.
Very nice.
So
Glad to see him on the train.
I just added the solvent. Just wiped the seat all down with the solvent, not the Diet Pepsi, but
I looked like you were about to pour that on there.
but with the degreaser. So it's a degreaser.
It's a degreaser, yeah.
Talk about this product, guys. So this I stole out of the steering wheel kit, along with the sanding pad. So tell me about the degreaser and what it's doing, what its job is, other than saying that it removes wax, grease wax, and silicone.
Yeah. I mean, so when you're putting the paint on, you want to prep the surface very, very well, and that's something that is crucial. And most of the times, people don't spend enough time doing that very well. So, of course, step one of that prep is to make sure that you clean very well, so you get rid of all the dirt and the grime that's on there. But additionally, obviously, you've sanded as well, so you got a bit of dust from sanding, right? But there was quite likely also some grease, not just dirt, because cleaners remove dirt, but not necessarily grease. So that's what the degreaser does. It gets rid of all the sort of traces of care products, conditioners, and whatever you've got on the seat, and just makes it very, very even. Gets rid of that grease and allows the paint to bond to the surface very well, which is what we want. We want to make sure that the paint that you're going to put on now sticks and bonds to the surface very well.
So I'm just going to use these little sponges.
Yep. That's it. It'll go a long way.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to start here and here since they're the two. Well, I just dripped it on there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna
It
start
decided
down
for
here.
you.
Yeah, well so we were talking about this the other day, and the first, you guys were saying it's to
You did
do
it once again before. Looks
to
very
do a wipe, because that'll get you your first kind of layer, your first,
Yeah.
Your base layer.
yeah, is to wipe it on just to get a good layer there.
Now, I do have a lot of questions here. I can
Go
go
for it,
ahead and
Dane.
ask here while you're
Fire
doing
away.
that. Let's start down the line. Oh, very useful. This one, less serious, but I figured I'd throw it out there. G. Davis asks, when did Nate buy a Volvo? Kudos to him and his Bulldog.
It's not Nate, it's Sebastian.
That would be the case. Now, he did ask some serious questions, so I'll get to those in a moment, but let me start down the line and then we'll work our way up. So we've got Scott Mattern here asking, how often should this depth of cleaning be done? Is it dangerous to scrub leather with mild cleaner too often?
No, mild cleaner, especially with the mild cleaner, you can clean every day if you like. You won't cause any damage whatsoever.
Yeah, in terms of severity, it's kind of like when we use O&R to clean a car. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can clean with a mild leather cleaner every day. Don't use always a brush. Use a sponge and wipe it, and fine, no problem.
Okay, sure. So the difference is probably from the abrasiveness of a sponge versus a brush.
The brush, yeah.
Okay. Less about the product, though. Okay. So then we've got Ricky Cologne here. Go ahead and pull that up. Waiting for COVID to pass so I can get on a CL certification training stateside in the near future.
Hell yeah, buddy.
So he's looking forward to that.
Yeah, Ricky. Waiting for
we
COVID
do.
to pass so we can come over to the US and do some training as well.
We're all waiting for that. Then we got MDP here saying, does Lars or Ram have a recommendation for which color in their lineup would be best for red seats in an Alfa Romeo 4C? So that's the little mid-engine sports car. Little
Yeah.
guy.
VIN number, chassis number. That's what we need.
That guarantees you get
you
the
know.
right color code.
Yeah, so we can dig up details, find out the exact trim code and trim details, and go from there, basically. But I wouldn't recommend choosing one of the stock colors that we've got, just because they may or may not be a good match.
Sure. No,
give
and
us
especially with the
number
red.
and No, yeah, special with everything what is not black. So
Yeah.
just
No,
give
that
us
makes sense.
give us a VIN number, and I mean black is by the most brands okay. It's just Audi is we need also the VIN number, because Audi black is not really black.
Yeah, they have 2 or 3 different types of blacks. I mean, we all know there's 50 shades of grey. There's 150 shades of red if you really want to know. So let's just email the VIN, and we'll take it from there.
Why don't you go ahead and give him the email he should send it to so that he can follow up?
Right, so the email address is info, I-N-F-O, at Colourlock, COLOURLOCK.com. Fire an email across there, or just send us a message on Facebook with your VIN number and some photos as well, preferably of the interior, so we can ring up Alfa Romeo and find out some details and come back to you.
Perfect. Yeah, best way to do it. Okay, so moving along, I've got G. Davis here asking a more serious question. What are the most common first-time mistakes you see being made by enthusiast detailers? I'll tie this more to leather care, since that's probably where we're trying to direct it today.
Yeah. I mean, one that I've made, one of my first mistakes that I made is, I see a lot of people doing that is, you do the repair completely, right? And I remember this, I was working on, this was one of my first or second jobs, we're going back about 8 years ago. It was on a Ferrari. It was this customer who was really trying to impress as well. And I'd done the whole work. The color match was very, very good, spot on. I was so pleased, over the moon. And then what I did was I grabbed a product called the Leather Shield, and I started applying it I thought I'll make it look very good. And this was literally sort of 5 minutes after I'd finished the repair. And the whole thing, that just took off everything. I was applying with a microfiber as well. Everything just came off. And you should have seen the look on my face. I was like, oh God, So
thanks.
yeah, that's happened to a few guys that I know, and it's something that I remember very clearly because
Vividly.
it's like I was so proud of myself, thinking like, whoa, I've cracked this. I know what I'm doing now. 5 minutes later, I was humbled very, very quickly.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would
Lars,
say the biggest.
do you get people? Sorry, Levi, carry on.
Oh, I was just saying the biggest one on my end is people using too heavy of a interior cleaner, too strong of an interior cleaner, and they end up wiping all they end up either damaging the repair that was done previously, or they wipe off all their white letters, or they stain or bleach the seat, or I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff that I think they do.
That is the main thing. What I also see by enthusiast detailers, that they just use a too heavy, maybe solvent based or too high pH interior cleaner, and they don't think about it, that we have a breathing surface, and that
permeable.
the leather coating is not the same like a body coating. So we have a different surface. It's a pigmented. It's not a painted surface. It's a pigmented surface. So that is also what I see mostly. That the people just use too strong, and also steam cleaner is could be an issue.
Misconception about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of people when they discover a steam cleaner, they kind of go nuts with it. So
They go a little too heavy.
they want to use it on everything.
Yeah.
So I've also got Umberto here. I'm going to pull him up. There we go. I remember when we used to clean leather car seats with warm water and Castile soap, and it was a long process. All right.
What is Castile soap?
I think
I
it's
don't
a
know.
brand,
Saddle
but I'm
soap
honestly
or-
not sure.
Like a brand? Is that a brand of soap?
I would assume so.
Is it okay?
Or maybe
Yeah,
like
I mean, we've got. I remember going to a Rolls Royce thingy, and we had like a lot of guys. I mean, a room full of guys who Rolls Royce enthusiasts, and they were all like, "Well, we just use saddle soap. Saddle soap here in the UK is just soap that you use to clean horse saddles with."
Sure,
And they
we
were
have
that
cleaning
too
they were cleaning their Rolls Royce interiors with that. They were asking like, "What's wrong with that? Why can't I use it? Why can't I use it to clean my Rolls Royce seat?" And yeah, it's just probably it's nothing wrong with it, but probably just a little too aggressive.
It's too high pH 12 up to 15, too greasy, too everything, and
All those
Overkill.
things.
I mean, the tannery system of a horse equipment leather is completely different to a car seat leather or to a furniture leather seat. So it's not the same. And the pH is by a car seat round about 5.5, and you need also for daily cleaning a cleaner what has this pH roundabout. So the strong leather cleaner is round about 8. What Ram already say, it's a good cleaner for one heavy cleaning, or when you have to clean proper, like in this case here, and for daily cleaning use the mild leather cleaner, because they have the same pH what leather has also. So leather in a car is what I have to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of guys use saddle soap when they're working on aniline.
Yeah.
That kind of seems like the only go-to for a lot of these detailers here in the U.S. because that's all they have access to for a lot of it, and they don't really have the education that they're going to is to the leather shops. They're going to not to a leather repair. They're going to the guys that like the leather, like Tandy Leather Store.
Yeah, so of
Like,
course those guys are going to say
it's
something
totally
completely different.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a lot of it, it's totally different. It's like, well, no, we're not, making handbags and stuff out of
No.
aniline leather. Like,
People aren't sitting on handbags every day.
yeah, or making wallets. It's this is for a car seat.
How's that looking, Levi?
It's getting there. I've done a crosshatch, and then I'm gonna do a blot next. I might sand after this step after I dry it, just to even anything out that I've built up before I blot. but it's looking good as soon as it dries.
Okay, I've got Eric Beasley here. I'm going to pull up another comment. Is there a concern for using this on perforated leather and getting the foam down into the seat? So he was talking about back when he was using mild cleaner.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'd say don't. One is with perforated leather and leather in general, but especially when it comes to perforated leather, I would not make it as wet. So I would make sure that I don't have a lot of foam on the brush when I'm cleaning the perforated sections.
So you're not just
to
globbing it
avoid-
on there. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're trying to keep it as dry as possible, But even if you were to get some foam into it, as long as it's not ridiculous amounts, and by that I mean sort of half a bottle, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no problem. Just do the same what Levi did on the seat.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, I found on perforated leather, I use, like when I'm scrubbing, I just make sure that after I've wiped it all, I'll use just compressed air, and I'll just go across and try and blow out whatever's inside those holes, just to get it off. It's quicker, faster, it's done, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, totally.
So,
All right, and I've got more here. Go ahead and pull those up. G. Davis, is there a specific texture or feel you're looking for after sanding?
Smoothness.
yeah.
The smoothness, yeah.
That's
We want
We're
it
not-
the
soft.
only thing that you're looking for.
I'm not wearing off the texture. That's the thing. Like if you notice on these seats, these centers are smooth. This has some grain to it. But I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not sanding off the grain. I'm just
It's not like we're
lightly-
doing woodworking
Yeah.
here, but
No, I'm just lightly roughing it up to make sure that it's all uniform across the surface. So
Yeah.
it feels so that where there's catches and stuff, kind of like if you have a hangnail or something on your fingers, when you catch that, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm just trying to make sure that everything's, feels the same across, whether I have the grain or I don't. Same with this, I'm trying to make sure because this area right here is still very rough because it's exposed and worn. And so that's one of the reasons I want to sand again is just to try and knock that area down a little bit because I can still feel it catch a little on my glove and you can hear it.
sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but when you sand over it, then it's fine for sure. Yeah. And normally you can't sand down the grain. That is not possible to do. So that is nothing that you have to worry about it. Leather is much more stronger than a lot of people expect, and it's also very forgiving by the
Yeah.
repair. And if you do something wrong, maybe then just sand it down or go again with some solvent over this, remove it and do it again. That is leather is so forgiving. You
That's the advantage.
Don't
You
have
can
to
like pretty much
worry too
reset
much.
anytime and start again. Yeah.
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 So to follow up here, this one we've already basically answered just during this process, but I'll pull it up on the screen just so people have a reminder. Will Alexander here, he was the vacuum guy, asking, what's the best products to keep my leather clean in my car? My leather is pretty clean. I just want to stay on top of it. So mild cleaner, I would assume.
Yeah, mild
cleaner.
leather cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we've got Bait Addict followed up here. If
Bait Addict.
strong leather if strong leather cleaner pulls color, does that mean you should stop using it?
Yes, but I think if it's pulling color, it's quite likely because there's not enough top coat or clear coat on the surface.
Right.
Or you're applying or you're just being too aggressive with the brush. That could also be a reason why it's pulling color off. So it's not necessarily you have to stop using it, but you can try a different approach. So maybe don't apply as much pressure. Observe, is it just removing color on a particular area, or is it just the same across every part of your interior? So those are things that you just want to weigh up. Maybe it's just removing color on a particular area that gets used a lot, so the driver's seat, for instance, which doesn't have as much clear coat on there. That could be a reason, but certainly, switch to a milder product, but also make sure that be aware that you probably don't have enough top coat or clear coat in that area. So using a product like the leather shield or something would be the leather sealant that you guys have would be quite useful as well.
Sure. Yeah. And here's another one for Ram here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Dave. Dave here says, one for Ram, where can Colourlock products be bought in the UK?
Well, it's www.colourlock.com. We're based in TW13 postcode in Feltham area in Middlesex. You can buy the products, order the products online. You can call us, place an order over the phone, or just come down. We come down with your car. If you need some special paint mixed up, we do that on site as well for you. So,
Nice.
just whatever works for you, really.
No, that's great. So, Dave, bear that in mind. We've got Martin here. Oh, this is a good question. Hi, Ram and Lars. If I have white color thread stitching, so like contrast stitching, will the leather cleaner also clean the thread?
Yeah.
Well, if it's white, it's not going to make it cleaner than white. But if it's slightly,
It cleans
it would
also.
clean
so
it, but
it's independent how dirty it is, but normally it cleans, yeah. So just go over the stitches and clean it. I mean, a different color of stitches is just an issue when you paint, because then you have to cover up or tape it up, no? But clean works very well. So strong or mild leather cleaner cleans the stitches or the tiered also. Yeah.
Okay. And then, I got Umberto here explaining Castile soap since we were asking earlier.
yeah.
All right, Umberto's saying Castile soap is vegetable-based without animal fats and no synthetic stuff. It is biodegradable too. In Puerto Rico, we knew it as jabón de Castilla.
Jabón.
Okay.
Jabón de Castilla.
Jabón de Castilla. Okay. And then I have about 50 comments from Bait Addict. Go
awesome.
ahead, guys.
So that is a good based soap based for textile. So when it is vegetable or animal fat free, makes sense to clean with this soap.
Fabric seats, yeah.
Fabric seeds, yeah, that would make sense, because that may, I guess the pH is not so high because it's animal fat free, so the pH will be 8 to 9, something like this, when you do a soap with this. What is even not so bad, and yeah. But I never saw it really. So, but what he's explaining, it's similar like the strong leather cleaner, I guess.
Okay. He also follows up and says Bonner's makes it, and it's also known as Salsud, and removes germs and bacteria besides dirt and grease. Castile soap does not kill the germs and bacteria, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that answers that. Okay. And I'll go ahead and kick it over to the queue here because I got several comments from Bait Addict. Several. All right. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Bait Addict starts, how often should leather protector be used? I was typically cleaning the leather in my interior every 3 months, then applying protector, waiting a few hours to a day, and then applying shield.
Perfect.
And then he follows up.
How you have to do it. Yeah.
And he asks, is this necessary, or should I just be applying leather shield once every 3 months after cleaning and protector/shield once every 6 months to a year? The leather is for an Audi.
No, it's absolutely correct what he is doing. So when he
What he's doing
cleans
is
all
very,
3
very
months,
good.
and apply protector, wait 1-2 days, and apply shield. First thing is completely correct. Perfect.
Okay. And then he follows up again, 9 years old almost. Mine has been 7 years and followed a similar maintenance procedure with another brand, but switched to Colourlock maybe 7 months ago.
Thank you, Bait
Thank
Addict.
you.
Wasn't that? I think that was at the start of the year when me and Lars were there and we did this audio session. And we were trying to figure out who Bait Addict was.
That's right. That's right.
And then he follows up here.
Do you remember? Yeah, I think so.
I remember that.
Well, he follows up by throwing Lars under the bus. Lars helped me out and gave my
Last time, yeah.
identity away. Actually, it's been over a year since I switched. Sorry.
That was No, it was Ram that did that. It was
Oh.
Ram.
I'll let him blame Lars though.
Yeah.
For people watching who don't know what that's about, don't worry. He didn't dox him or anything. Literally, just Bait Addict enjoys living under anonymity and buying from us, but pretending that we don't know who he is. So there's that. Any rate, we've also got.
We don't
also,
know who he is, Dane. None of us know who he is.
I'm sure it's a great big mystery. Okay, so Bait Addict here also wanted to know when we can get leather essence. I really would like Leather Shield to smell like leather. Personal preference. It's always out of stock.
We'll get some in. We seem to get stuff in, and it just goes out of stock very quickly. But now that I'm pretty sure we have some on order, and in the next week or so, we've got a huge stuff coming in. But it's perhaps something that we'll look at you guys as well as a rack company. Maybe if you guys want to think about it, because that could be a useful product for you guys as well, I think.
Yeah, good idea.
But it makes more sense to add it
to put it in the protector, right? Yeah.
Not to the shield. Add it to the protector. Then it sucks in the leather, and you have a longer smell.
Yeah.
Bait Addict then followed up. Levi pretends he doesn't know who Bait Addict is. He does know. Always a fun game. Do they, don't they, will they, won't they? All right, so I got Mike Filler here. Also, with a question, little more relevant now. I bought a truck with leather. What is the best way to protect it? It's a new truck. If you could specify what truck it is, Mike, that would also be helpful.
Yeah, which kind of interior? If it's the normal pigmented leather.
I would assume it's a
or is
domestic
it,
truck.
or is it some special interior? That is also interesting. But
Well, like
if it's a new truck, the new leather care kit with mild leather cleaner and the sealant. If the truck older than 3 years, then move to the smooth leather care kit. What is mild leather cleaner and protector? And is it older than 8 till 10 years, then you can use elephant, mild laser cleaner and elephant. If it's a bright color, then use shield always on top, the same way how B8 Active it does. So yeah, that's all. And if it's a king range interior, then call Ram and ask him exactly what you have to do, because it's a bit more difficult, but we have solutions, of course.
Yeah, my aunt just picked up a new Ram Longhorn, and the Longhorns have just the tiniest bit of aniline leather, it's like almost like a little 2-inch strip, decorative bit that's aniline, where the rest is all sealed pigmented leather. So, but I put her on and it's like a purple burgundy kind of color. So, but I told her just grab the new kit and the new leather kit and hit everything with that first, and she should be good. She shouldn't need anything else.
Is that bit in the center, Levi, where you just sanded? Is it that roughness? I think it's from the suede bit underneath. Can you
little
feel
bit,
the suede?
yeah, but it's a lot smoother. So yeah, you can see it when I move it one side to the other. That's how far it was already worn through. So that's why I put those coats on, cross-linked them, and then I'm going to probably do maybe a block coat here just to build it up, then dry it, and then go over the whole seat to kind of blend it as one.
Yeah. If it still feels rough, I think in your house, in the kit, the training kit that you've got, there's a product called Neutral Binder.
Yes.
You can use that, and that'll just smooth it out. But I think this should work too.
Yeah, that will work here. That's no problem. Yeah.
G. Davis was asking how much of a super chat donation it would take to get me to say Habon again. I probably said it wrong. I'm sorry. Jabon. John Bon Jovi. There you go. All right, so we got Roy here. I'll pull up Roy.
I worry about Dane when we go to a Spanish-speaking company and he starts saying, He doesn't have
Well,
any John Bon Jovi
long,
for his shower.
long as I don't say the layers again, I think we're good.
What did you say? What
Did you ever hear that story, guys?
Oh,
So when we
man,
went to
that was
Waxstock,
brutal.
when we went to Waxstock, we made it all the way up to Lincolnshire. We were up there, headed over to visit Jim.
I thought I
Jim
was
White.
so smart and
Yeah.
prepared.
Dane started talking to our taxi driver, and he's like, "What are you all here for?" And we're like, "Oh, we're here for a detailing convention up in Coventry, but we're visiting a friend right now here in Lincoln." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool. What kind of convention?" And Dane goes,
Well, no,
what'd you
he
say, Dane?
didn't understand detailing when you first
Oh,
said
that's
it. He
right.
was just
He
kind of
said,
like,
"Kinda."
he was just like, huh, what is it?
Yeah.
And I go, well, I think in the UK here, they call them valeters.
And he even looked
we
even
have people who
more
park cars. It's
confused.
spelled just like valeter. It's a valet. It's somebody who parks a car or
okay.
something like that. So it's like you hand them your keys and they park your car. It's valet. So I thought, oh, they say that all the time on these UK message boards. They must just be valeters. That's what they call themselves. They wash cars, the valeters. And that was my mental process. And the guy's just like, huh? But
He
it was
stared.
not
He
good.
gave Dane a look that was the most hilarious thing in the rearview mirror, and Dane was just like, "Oh no,
I was like,
what have I done?"
What? That should have worked. And then Levi's like, valeters.
Layers.
He's just like, valeters.
And the
And
guy
then the
goes,
guy's like,
"Oh,
oh, okay, yeah. That was
I know what they are."
I died inside. That was rough.
Dane just silently sat there and looked out the window.
That's what I get for trying to be like on the ball and actually have like, oh, I know, a little bit of local slang or something. No, forget it. Okay, so let's see. We got Roy here about daily cleaning. Mild cleaner without brush, but should we add leather cream or other products as well? Question mark.
Shield.
I'd say if you're regular
cleaner.
cleaning, mild cleaner without brush is fine. You can, in terms of leather shield and leather protector, you don't need to apply it. Just apply it once every 3 months. I think that's good enough. When you say that, Lars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And in case you guys are wondering, the shield is sealant
It's
and
sealant.
protector is conditioner
Yeah.
in the U.S. here. So
Here's a good one from G. Davis. This might carry you guys for a little bit. He's asking, Lars and Ram, could you talk about how COVID has changed the way you do business?
Well,
Oh,
That's extensive, I know.
well, besides that,
online, right?
yeah. Well, you guys travel a lot, you train a lot, so that's been the
so,
biggest
yeah,
change.
it changed a lot. Normally there's a statistic on my miles card from Lufthansa, and I have so many hours. 2019, I was so many hours in a plane, like a Lufthansa staff, plus training, plus working. So I don't work in the plane. So that changed my life really. And normally I fly across the global everywhere and do trainings and meet people, and also all the shows are posted or skipped or online. So yeah, my business life is really changing completely. So my daily work, but we are in this very, very lucky situation that when we talk about numbers, we are fine. So we really have big luck, and we are very thankful that we have in business what working at COVID time also good and well. So yeah, but I do a lot of online trainings. I sit much more hours on my desk in front of a camera, and yeah, doing a lot of things like this now, no?
Yeah.
And I miss.
Yeah, it's the same, right? We're just discovered this new way of doing so much stuff online, which is the same for a lot of other people, I guess. But yeah, I think fortunately, because of the nature of our business being primarily online, we've not been as affected as some of the restaurant and hospitality sectors.
Sure.
I suppose, So it's been good. But having said that, I think I'm ready to get back out on the road again. And
You're ready
go
to
out
see
and do
somewhere
more
other than
training.
your own four walls, yeah.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
I hope everybody's enjoying watching paint dry.
I think they are. It's a smaller audience, but I feel like it's a dedicated
Literally
audience
what we're doing.
who decided there's nothing better on a Friday night than watching paint dry. So
Yeah. Literally,
we
that's what they get to
thank
see.
you for enduring with us. And also to Ram and Lars, where it's very late where you guys are. So by all means, if you get too tired or something, you are welcome to go. We don't want to kick you out. You're welcome to stay, welcome to go, whatever it is. That's all fine.
I just think I'm
No,
thankful
fine.
that they're here because
Yeah.
could you have imagined if we only had Anthony as a guest and he
Oh,
couldn't even talk to us?
Man, I mean, Anthony's good when he's like in person and he can talk about the stuff, but through a bad connection, oh, it's just nightmare right there. Yeah. Umberto here to tell me, I love this. Dane, you said it correctly the first time. Thank you. Okay. So I've got Alex here. Have a 2013 Platinum Ford F-150. Premium leather seats, use Grill's Garage interior cleaner, Colourlock brush, and Chemical Guy's leather conditioner for protection. Is this enough? What do you guys think?
I would use sealant if it was me.
Yeah.
I would use Colourlock sealant.
Rather than the CJ conditioner.
Yeah, I would definitely say I think the sealant is a very good product. It's a water-based product. It offers it offers protection against abrasion and friction damage, which is going to be a big thing. I don't know what color the seats are.
Well,
If
usually on
it's
the
a dark
Platinums,
color
I
seat
think
or
they're
a light
black.
color seat.
Most of the
Yeah.
time
Black.
they're
Okay.
black. It's a special version of a black leather.
It's the highest trim
That
level
they
they
put.
offer on that truck.
Right. Okay.
like a
But yeah,
black
definitely
stainless.
adding the leather sealant to your routine somehow will cover it up quite nicely, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've got Edmund Iverson here, good old Ed, here to say hello and happy Friday, gentlemen. I'd used the Leatherique system on my wife's 01 Z3 seats before I learned about Colourlock. They aren't too dirty, but they do need some recoloring. And then he follows up with another saying, will the Colourlock work with a prior Leatherique application from a year ago? Many things. I think he just wants to make sure it's compatible and that it's going to work right if he puts something over the other.
Yeah, you're just gonna
Yeah,
have to
just-
follow the process that Levi's doing here, I think. Right? Just
Yeah,
clean it,
and-
degrease it,
Yeah, degreaser, that is the main thing because the leather
oil-based product, right?
oil-based product, so that is similar to our leather softener.
Okay.
And then when you apply this, you have to be sure to degrease it very well. You can make we call it tape test. So after cleaning, sanding, and degreasing, then you can take a tape, yeah, put it on the leather, and if that get a good connecting, a good bounding, then it's ready that you can apply some leather fresh. And if the tape doesn't stick very well on the leather, then it's still greasy, and then you have to degrease it more.
All right. Oh, I got Alex here about that Ford F-150, the Platinum. He followed up and said that the seats are a dark brown color. So
Ooh, the dark
probably
brown
like
version.
a deep dark brown.
That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Right.
Dark brown color. It's good, yeah. Sealant is
Yeah,
good.
so just leather shield adding to it would be good because I think in a dark brown sometimes dye transfer can become obvious on darker clothing and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't get fading now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be-
Oh, Beta Addict here with a good question. Lars and Ram, would using mild leather cleaner or another mild leather cleaner remove leather shield? He just wants to make sure he's not
Yeah.
accidentally pulling it off.
Yes,
So it
Yes,
would.
I do.
Okay.
it would. Yeah.
And
It removes, and we want that it removes because we don't want
Yeah.
to get a new layer on top, what maybe makes issues on the long run. And that is also why it is certified by Volkswagen Group or by Mercedes, because or also BMW, because it doesn't build up layers. And so when you apply all 3
React to the
months and you
surface
can't
or
remove
yeah.
it, you have 4 layers after 1 year, you have 8 layers after 8 years, so that is not what we want. So that is one key thing why leather shield or sealant works so good, because you can remove it with a mild leather cleaner.
No, that's good. That's important. So he also followed up here saying, if you were just freshening up the interior in between the 3-month clean, i.e. application to protector and shield, thank you, Lars, for the recommendation to apply essence to protector, not shield. So I guess he was getting a little clarity there. That's good. And then I've got, this one I'm going to jump around a little bit. Mike Filler, as you remember, he was the one who said he had a new truck, right? Not the Ford guy, but this one, a Chevy guy. So he just got a new 2021 Silverado LT Trail Boss. So
Ooh, nice.
kind of a big dog Chevy Silverado there. And he had leather seats in it. So, yeah.
Sealant would be the good one to do.
Sealant,
Okay.
yeah. Mild cleaner, sealant. That'll be enough for the first 3 years. You wouldn't even need to apply a conditioner. You know, I think that should be good. And then after that, just introduce the conditioner into the routine as well for best result.
Okay. And then this one is for Lars. Pull it up on screen. Lars, is BMW Dakota and Boston Leather the same thing?
No, it
No.
isn't. It's very similar, but it isn't. And Dakota and Boston is that is the name for the leather, for the type of leather. And the grain is very similar, but it's not the same. Dakota and Boston is different, but by using, cleaning, pairing, repairing, everything the same, so that makes no difference.
Okay. No, that's very helpful because I know there's a lot of times online you'll get into message boards and someone will say, oh, this and this are the same thing. Don't even think about it. It's totally the same stuff. Treat it the same. And it helps to have somebody who's an expert like you who deals with BMWs especially a lot. You know there are differences. So that's good to know.
Yeah, I think the main difference, if I'm right, is in the grain structure.
Okay.
Right, so
That's
between
the grain
Dakota
structure.
and Boston, the grain structure is different. They also have things like Montana, they have Nevada, which are again further different types. So they'll have let's say a BMW with a beige interior. You could have a BMW beige Dakota, or you could have a BMW beige Nevada. You could have just a BMW beige Montana, but they're all just different grain structures.
Okay. No, that's very helpful. Pulling up a few more comments here coming in. Okay, so we've got Edmund Iverson again here asking, what would be the difference between using a Colourlock brush versus a VLB brush? Sorry if this has been covered. I just logged on a few minutes ago.
What is a
The longer-
VLB brush?
That's our short little
It's the little yellow guys. Yeah.
So the VLB is a good brush for that. It's great for general use because it's so fast. But if you're looking to get into like your cracks and really get into heavier graining or lighter, I mean, it's almost a little more aggressive than the Colourlock brush in some instances. So when I clean leather, I use both. So if I've got like this flat surface here, if I really need to get deeper into it, I can do it in less steps with a VLB because it's a uniform, basically a microfiber that I can then clean it and remove it. If I need to get in more into the grain and stuff like that, then I'll use, or down into these crevices and along the stitching, then I use the Colourlock brush. But I can use the bigger size Colourlock brush for everything and not have any issues all the way around. But the VLB is great for door panels, dashboards, center consoles. Like, you can really get a good clean off of all your other surfaces too. Just like you can with the Colourlock brush. I just use both of them the same way and kind of interchangeably use them when I'm cleaning.
Okay.
So it's the easiest way to describe it. So
Simple. Here, guys. I've got Eric Beasley here asking, does anyone know of any detailing training courses close to New Louisiana? Oh, sorry. Wow. My brain just went blah. Louisiana. Everything that I found is in Cali. P&S training, of course, for instance. So he wants to know if there's any training down that way. Any of you guys could chime in.
I would just say you could talk to Luke or Alex Loke, Loke's Exotex, and see if he's up for doing anything like that.
Okay.
He's a cool cat, and
I see a lot of Vipers around that guy.
He does do a lot of Vipers, doesn't he? But yeah, no, I would just check with him first and see, because he's probably the go-to authority, and he knows a lot of other detailers in that area.
Okay.
And he's based in Louisiana, so.
Perfect. Good resource.
Yeah.
And then I've got G. Davis asking Levi, what would you charge for what you're doing right now?
I'd probably, if I had to do a whole seat, I'd probably be about 100 to 150, depending on what I had to do. Like if
Okay.
I've got to fix this little cut here, it would probably be 150 bucks plus this, recoloring the whole seat.
Sure.
I don't think that's unreasonable. At my shop, I used to charge 100 bucks a seat, and I'd sublease it out to somebody,
Sure.
to a guy that would clean it. But the problem was the repair would only last about the year, and then the way they did it, and all this came back. But they basically came in, scuffed it up, and then just spray painted it with like a SEM interior leather color,
Yeah.
and that was it. And then called it good and said, "All right, 50 bucks." So I'd make 50 to 25 bucks on the deal, depending on what it was, but it
Sure.
never lasted. So
Well, that was going to be
and
my
it didn't look-
question.
it didn't look like this does. This almost matches that seat that all I've done is clean it. So
Right.
this
Well, the
looks nice.
question I was going to ask about this, I haven't seen anyone else ask it, which is honestly surprising to me, because normally it's the first thing that comes up anytime you're doing some kind of clean and then protect of any kind. People are like, well, how long does it last? I haven't seen anybody ask that yet, but Lars, Ram, what do you generally see for a procedure like this in terms of longevity?
I mean, we've had a lot of it depends on how you look after it. I mean, we've had guys who've done a color change, which you're not supposed to do. We don't even recommend doing that. And we've got a guy, Dave. He's done that 3-4 years ago, and it still looks immaculate. So, but on average, as a rule of thumb, we'd say this is a DIY product. This would last you anywhere from about a year to year and a half, assuming you don't look after it very well.
Okay.
Right.
So worst case scenario, a year.
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty
And
good.
you should
I think a
still
lot of
have-
people would think
you
shorter.
should still have enough in the bottle left to be able to have
Oh,
a few
yeah,
more applications.
I think I'm right about here in the line is where I feel like I'm at.
Oh,
in
that's not
liquid
bad at
terms.
all.
So I've only used about that much on that entire seat.
That's
Yeah.
a
And there's
whole seat
still
right there.
plenty.
Yeah.
I've moved on to a second sponge just so I can get my patterning a little more flatter, because the other sponge was getting a little too absorbed. But I mean, you can see I still have some dye in
Product
the
left
sponge.
in there.
Yeah, so I can do some light touch-ups and stuff just to try and move some more product around if I need to. But
Well, I've got some more questions here for you guys. Got Bait Addict here asking, what would you do for in-between cleanings for the leather within the 3 months? Warm water and a microfiber towel? I personally was using O&R on a damp towel just to wipe down with no pressure.
yeah, I'm okay
Yeah, I
with
mean,
that.
I would.
No, take a damp towel.
Damp cloth,
what is damp
yeah.
with my leather cleaner normally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just wipe it with my leather cleaner. Just damp the towel with my leather cleaner and wipe it. It's fine. That's fine. That's normally the best thing what I can recommend, because it's the correct pH. The dumping will take the dust, the daily dust, and then it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Great.
just eagle towel. Eagle.
Yeah, an eagle
microfiber.
towel
Yeah.
would be fine.
Very, very safe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's safe. That's no problem.
Yeah, super gentle. And then I've got Nashville bassist here. Will refresh fill in the normal wear and tear creases, or does that require filler?
Well, there are spots like up here where there's some cuts. If I mixed a black filler, it would fix all that, but I'd have to fill it, sand it, clean it to make sure I fixed all that. But, it hasn't filled in a ton of the heavy spots that we were talking about, but it has filled quite nicely that suede part that was still kind of showing. So
Okay, yeah. You're kind of picking and choosing
Yeah.
your battles.
yeah, Yeah.
Anything that grabs with your fingernail, that you can grab onto with your fingernail, generally tends to require a filler,
Okay. Yeah. So it's almost like dealing with paint in that regard.
Yeah, like you could
A
see,
little
this
bit,
is,
yeah.
like I can feel this under my glove, like it's such a deep scar. But it hasn't broken, these haven't broken through.
Yeah, it's still
So-
surface.
Yeah, so now I could, like we're saying, I could take some of this, mix it in with the filler and put it in there and then go back over it. But, that's a different repair in a sense
Okay.
than what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Then I've got Edmund here. Got another one from him. Ed says, thank you for all your help with this. Any special precautions or insights about cleaning or refreshing the 2010 to 2014 Ford Mustang brick red leather?
Well, assuming it's in pretty decent shape already, I would, use the mild leather cleaner, the brush, the leather shield, and the leather protector. Clean and look after it once every 2 to 3 months. I'd follow the procedure where you clean it, then apply the leather protector, wait a few days, and then, or even a day even, and then apply the leather shield. That, I think, should keep it looking in tip-top shape.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's a convertible, I don't know if this could be a convertible also, I guess, no? So if
Ed
it's a
likes his
convertible,
convertibles. Yeah.
okay, then take then use elephant.
Okay.
And not protector.
Interesting. Okay,
So
because
no
normally we
protector,
think of
no
elephant for
elephant.
much older vehicles, but you would say for a convertible it would be okay even if it's more modern?
It's an older car. It's from 2015, from 2010, or isn't it?
Okay.
Or what that's it. Yeah. So when it's 10 years old, so you can use. It's a convertible, 10 years old, so it makes sense to use my leather cleaner, elephant. Wait 2 days and then apply leather shield.
I see
And-
Ed followed up and said convertible, so go figure.
Well, there you go. I think, oh man, that looks pretty good to me. I'm pretty stoked about it.
That's looking good.
Excellent.
Yeah. One thing, Levi, what you can do is give the leather a little bit of massage to get the grain stronger back.
Okay, so kind of just rub it.
Yeah, just pinch it, massage it.
Who knew? Levi was also a
Think of
Swedish
it like,
masseuse.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nordic massage.
Yeah.
Give it some of that.
Well, here's
but
a
you
Go
fun
on, you
one.
put your back into it, Levi. You know.
I got G. Davis here.
I'm supposed to
Question
slap
for
it, or-
Lars.
I don't know if that's.
G. Davis wants to know, would you be able to explain the love the fine people of Germany have for David Hasselhoff? He wants to know where that affinity comes from.
German
Don't
people
hassle
love
the
David
Hoff.
Hasselhoff. That is true. I mean, there was some videos in the nearly past, what makes the people a bit confused, but we still love David Hasselhoff, and the people are going on the dance floor when the song's coming from him, and I mean, Kid was really popular TV show in the Germany, especially when I was young, when I was a kid, a child. Yeah, that was very, very important. That is, and then comes the speech show. I forgot the name. Baywatch. Also, what was popular in Germany as well, and that makes David Hasselhoff very to a big person here in Germany.
Was he in that latest Baywatch movie that came out a few years ago? Was he in it?
Yeah, he
No, he
was
was not in
also-
it. Did he make like
he
a
was
guest appearance or
short.
something?
Yeah, he had a short part on it.
At the end. Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember really. So
I remember. I think you or me. We were watching that on the plane. We were flying to
we
the
watched
US.
the
I remember at the
plane.
time.
This is a
Yeah.
movie, but we watched the plane because you you just look at a movie like this when you have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
Sure.
love David Hasselhoff. That's true. German people love David Hasselhoff. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Hello?
a sound from Dane. Dane is not
Dane's,
anymore
I
here.
think we've lost you, Dane. Oh yeah. Should we just read? Oh, I've lost Levi as well.
Oh. But we are still there, so we rock the show. Now we can say what we want, Ram. That's very good.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know who can hear us, who cannot hear us. Maybe they can hear them, but they can't hear us. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Let's jump in.
We lost you, Dane. Oh yeah. Should we just read? Yeah, we have lost Levi as well.
Oh.
Okay. I think we've lost them both.
Yeah, we lost all of them. So we will read it. So from B8 Edic, will Leather Fresh remove the bolster wear lines you
Wear
see on
lines.
the leather, or just improve it? So Ram, what's going on?
Yeah, so I think people just it'll improve it. In most cases it will improve it. If you need to completely get rid of the lines, you're going to have to use some of the filler. You're going to have to fill it. So what I'm trying to say is, that those lines that you're seeing on the screen right now, that is just an improved, looked after. To me, that looks like a well looked after old seat. But if you want to completely get rid of those lines and creases that you see, then you're going to have to do. I mean, then we're talking about doing Botox on leather, and that's something that I wouldn't recommend it. But if you really wanted to get rid of it, then you're going to have to use filler, leather filler, fill those creases, and then paint on top. Did you say that correct, Ross?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. So if Dane hear us, you can go to the next question. We will answer this and read it also. If not, what you can see now is...
I've messaged them on here. I think someone needs to let them know. They don't know. They're talking away. Oh, okay. They're saying just keep talking, Ram and Lars. Okay. All right. So Q&A. G. Dave is saying Q&A Friday with Lars and Ram.
on the PIC channel.
on the Rag Company channel. All right. Well, there you go.
But what we see now on the picture, Ram, is that still is the hole is there. So this is something what you have to fill with fluid leather or with the filler. I want to use filler in this case because it's more easier. So the headrest we see very well. It's filled very well. Also in the back seat, massage did also a good job because all the grain come back. And so what we also saw in the first time, the first two layers, Levi wiped it, and the final layers dapped it. So to get a even
finish, to get rid of those streak lines, right? And that is crucial. So if you're applying this product, make sure you wipe it and then dab over it. And additionally, what you can also do is just build up thin layers. So you saw Levi doing quite a few layers, and that is crucial to get that nice complete finish. So I've got a question here from Nashville bassist. It says, Ram, so how long to wait before applying leather shield? So I'm presuming he's saying you've applied the paint, you've applied the dye, and now how long should you wait before you apply the leather shield?
Yeah.
So how long would you say that, Lars? 24 hours, in my opinion?
24 hours. 12 hours. So over the night is always what we do. So do protector. When you finish the job afternoon, protector on it, and then wait over the night, and next morning you can apply leather shield. That's no problem. Yeah, cool. It works very well. So
I'm running low on battery as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
All right. So I'm actually now in the studio because my mic cut out, and and we had a power surge, so it actually blew out our antenna.
Basically, anything audio related.
Right, yeah. So you guys have been great because you're on the other side of the pond where we're over here in Gabe.
Boy, are we glad we have you guys over there.
So nice. Thank you guys
So kind.
for carrying that for us. But so I'm on Gabe's little laptop at the moment, joining in on the VMix. So what I'm going to plan to do with this seat. So you guys are saying wait 12 hours to a day, 24 hours. So I'm going to put a nice Rag Company microfiber towel on the seat so that Sebastian can drive it home. Just because I just don't want him abrading the seat anymore.
You're not going to make him sit here for 12 hours waiting?
No, okay. I'm not going to make him sleep here. So, but that way he can drive it home. I told him try not to move around as much as possible on the seat. I don't want him, shimmying and doing all that kind of stuff. So, and I said no trips to like Utah or Salt Lake tonight because I don't want him just sitting in that seat for 4 to 8 hours. No. So, basically,
what time is it there now? It's what, 3 o'clock? I think he'll be okay. Yeah, what time is it there now? 3, half 3? 3:30
half 3. So,
you've still got a couple of more hours before he finishes work. I think he'd be okay.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is just let it sit, and then I'll probably send him the little bottle of protector home and make him do it. Put that on the seat. That way he's can have it protected and make him bring it back because I want him stealing our product.
Well, that'll work.
But I'm amazed at how well that came out. Like that was serendipitous.
Very good. Very
excellent.
Looks very good. I want to say something because the driving home now. So when it's dry, that's really no problem to drive home. That is correctly, Levi, what we say. Don't drive down to Salt Lake City or something. Don't drive too far, of course. Then wait a little bit. But to drive home now with this is no problem because you drive with a heat gun. It's already dry, and that is really no problem. Be careful with water. So when you have heavy rain, that doesn't make sense to get it on it, and it's fine. And the deeper damages, you can fill it with leather filled or fluid leather if you want to get more. But it's very, very awesome, and you did a great job. Very good.
Yeah. There's a few questions that have been put out. I'm only looking at the YouTube questions. I haven't got the Facebook thingy in front of me now. I don't know if you or anyone wants to cover that very quickly. I've got it here. Shall I read them out or?
Yeah, go ahead and read it off.
Yeah. So I've got Dr. Strange saying, have you heard of the song Volvo Driving Soccer Mom? I have not. Any of you guys heard that?
No, I don't know.
I haven't.
No. Okay. There must be something to it. Let us know more about it. And that's what I might do straight after this call now. Look for that song.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Edmund Iverson saying, is there a proper time to wait between applying the light coats of refresh? Not really. Is there a particular time that you have to wait? No, I think just as long as you're building up thin layers, that's fine. There's no specific time to wait. Would you say that, Lars, as well? That's been my experience. You don't have to wait a specific time, right?
That's right. You don't have to wait. That is one thing. What is nice on leather repair, you can go forward. You try it. Apply again. Apply again, and just look for thin layers. Don't do it too thick. That's all.
Yeah.
I think it will done to be able to help dry it out more between those layers, because you're able to just dry it, put the next layer on, it, put the next layer on, and if you wanted to, you could have sanded. So I probably could have sanded this seat one more time if I wanted to, a couple more layers on and call it good. But it depends on how far I want to go. Obviously, if it's your car, man, go to town until you feel like it's perfect. But this is a really good repair job, I think, and a good little refresh. And I think main thing is I wanted to show everybody how simple and easy it was. It's for some reason I've been talking about this product for the last 2 weeks to people, and like I said, I was talking to these guys earlier in the week, and I got a car that came in that was a buddy of mine's car, and it was a black BMW convertible with black leather, and I was kicking myself that I didn't have something as simple as this refresh kit to just knock out the seats, because it would have really set the tone on that vehicle and really would have, one, it's good practice. Two, it's a nice upsell to the customer, or just something kind of, it's a buddy of mine, so wouldn't have charged him, but I would have surprised him with it. But it's something so simple, it's so fun and so easy to do that if you haven't, taken that exploration in the leather, re-dye and repair, the Colourlock refresh kit is really,
It's satisfying to look at once you're done.
and it's very unique. So again, if you have a car that you want to do this on, we sell black and we sell the kit for black. So you could buy that. And then here's the great thing. You could buy that kit and then you could go on the Colourlock website, go hit up Ram and give him your VIN, give him all that information, and he'll actually mix up your color. Or maybe you've got a couple customers that do, like I've got a gal who's got a couple of Lexuses in different colored interiors, in the gray and the tan. Like I do her cars all the time. I'd pull the VINs off hers and send them in and get just some color mixtures. So I know I have this Lexus gray or this Lexus tan, or I have this BMW beige, or I have this Suburban beige, or tan, or whatever that are the popular ones. And then just start building my collection of refresh to utilize for customers. It's a very easy process.
Or when you do it professional, it makes sense to buy the scanner, no? And do your own leather
Just
fresh.
learn to mix your own paint. I mean, that's
mix your own paint, use the scanner, and I mean it's $500, something like this. So that's a tool what is also for a while there. So that works very, very well.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there's just two more questions.
Go for
Do
it.
you want to run through them? Beta is saying, if you have no time, are you able to apply shield after protector within an hour? Say for a customer detail where you can't keep it overnight. So Lars, basically, he's asking, can he put the leather shield and then the protector, let's say in an hour or so? Yes, I've done that many times. Where customers have come in to pick up the car.
Normally the way is that you apply protector, then you wait 12 to 24 hours, and then you apply leather shield. When you don't have time, you do it on the opposite way. So you apply leather shield. If you can spray it with a spray gun, that makes sense, and then dry it with a heat gun. Be sure that it's really dry, and then apply protector on it, and the customer can take the car with him. So that is the different way. And drying is so important because we don't want that you mix up the color on the surface, or not the color, that you don't mix up the products on the surface. So shield, dry, apply protector, and shield is still breathable, so protector will pass this layer.
Yeah.
Cool. And then just the final question from Roy. On a brand new car which has got fabric seats in it, what product should he use to protect the seats? The waterproof spray, that will that'll work very well. Edmund speaking in German, saying thank you to you, Lars. Saying vielen Dank, mein Herren, is that correct? I think thank you very much, gentlemen. I think that's what he's trying to say. And then
thank
Scott.
You very much, gentlemen.
Yeah, and then Scott saying thanks. He's happy that we were all here. And then finally, Nashville bassist again. What is the shelf life of a bottle of leather refresh, so Colourlock leather fresh? How long will that last, open versus unopened? I've over a year, definitely a year, as long as it's stored in the correct temperature, so not too hot, not too cold. It should last a year. And if it's unopened, I think it'll last longer.
Yeah, 2 years.
You just shake it up. Yeah, even if you've got it and you have it, I always try to go through and, like I said, I've got the big kit at home and I've been going through, I don't know, since February, every month or so when I'm in there working, I just stop, grab the bottles, have the kids come out with me, and I make them shake them up with me and make it a little kind of a fun dance. Get all the bottles shaken up and then put them all back in the kit. That way, it's something fun they like doing, and it helps just keep the product in a good spot.
Shake
So.
it like a Polaroid picture.
But yeah, what I wanted to demonstrate, this is a kit that
Yes.
you can pick up the black Colourlock refresh kit and leather refresh kit. You can pick up the steering wheel kit as well, the steering wheel restoration kit, which basically it does come with the degreaser and the sanding pad in it. That's what I used for this. But you can also buy those products from Colourlock direct. But everything's there. So buy maybe a new interior kit, and then buy buy the refresh kit and buy the steering wheel kit. You're pretty much covered for a lot of stuff.
You don't really need
that you need to do.
Yeah, we've turned the tables as well this time. Levi doing leather repair, me and Lars doing Dane's job. I think it's been good fun.
Yeah, this has been a blast. I'm thankful you guys were here and able to join into this fine hour in the evening
wouldn't have been the
for
same
you.
without you. So
Yeah,
we're glad we had
I'm very
you.
glad. I know we were kind of talking back. We're like, well, do you want to come on? We'll see. If you need us, we'll come up. But I was glad. I just was like, oh, this is gonna be a good time to have fun. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys, and so it makes a big one. But I just wanted to, that way everybody could see, because I think that's kind of the mystery. We did make that video with Morgan. The boys were here and we did that, but
That's helpful. But
the live, just especially right now when we just had our Black Friday sale. We got our Christmas sale coming up. Those products are going to be on sale, and so it is a good time to get those. Plus, one of the great things we did with the Colourlock team was Ram and Lars developed a co-branded product with us that is all our kits.
Yeah.
And they have the Colourlock and the Rag Company logo on them, and they're perfectly packaged. We even have a sneaker cleaning kit.
how cool is that?
You can clean your shoes. Like, why not? Like, get it. And if you're looking for Christmas gifts or something for friends or family, my aunt just bought that new truck. She reached out and said, what do I get? And I said, oh man, this is everything you need right here. So, and showed it to her, and she picked it up on Black Friday. So it's one of those things, like, I think a lot of people need to know how simple and easy and effective, and these guys know leather like nobody else.
Like
they made it simple for everybody.
For a total beginner, this would be considered maybe like intermediate skill level, beginning to intermediate. It's not the most crazy difficult thing in the world, but something you could do, like for someone who just has a daily driver, they don't think about detailing. That steering wheel kit's a good thing, because they have to look at that every day on their commute.
We went out to the junkyard, grabbed a couple steering wheels, and we knocked them out, made them look really great.
For the non-car people in your life, that sneaker kit is awesome.
Right? Oh yeah,
somebody whether it's like a nephew, a cousin, an uncle, a brother, whatever, and gals too. I mean, if somebody wants snakes, let's just say
that when Sebastian heard about like what all we were doing, and he started actually looking at the Colourlock kits.
Oh wait, what?
He showed up with shoes today.
Yeah.
In a bag, and I was like, "What are those for?" And he's like, "Well, just he wanted to clean the shoes too." I was like, "Well, you're going to be doing those, buddy. I'm not. I'm fixing your seat. I'm not going to be cleaning your shoes for you either." But I was like, "I don't know about this." Like, started looking at it.
Crazy cool. So yeah, it's the more you know, and for a lot of people, I mean, it seems for people who like pay super close attention to everything we do, it feels like we've talked about this a lot. But I guarantee you, there are people on the stream who've never even seen our channel before, never heard of us before.
Yeah.
They're discovering this for the first time and going, "Oh wait, I can do that." And that's just a big thing to understand when it comes to social media, is we're reaching new people all the time. Hopefully, people are sharing it with their friends, and new people are subscribing. But it's a new lesson, even if it feels the same to us. We just have to be aware that we're reaching out to new people all the time.
Yep.
And this could very well be extremely new information to them, and they may have no idea it's really this easy.
Yeah. Tim, do you have a shot of what that seat looked like beforehand? It'd be fun to do a little split 50-50.
Yeah, we had a little before and after.
Very shiny. It was very shiny.
Oh boy, yeah, that was extremely shiny before. Yeah,
well, and what's fun is that passenger seat. I don't have a shot of the passenger seat, but the passenger seat is very clean. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get it I cleaned that up. It didn't have any damage, but I just wanted to get it clean because it also was extremely shiny. But the goal was to get those seats to match. So, because this one was just so badly damaged. So I really wanted to make sure that I could get that there, and it looks good.
All little rivers and tributaries and things.
I know,
it's
right?
all coming off of
a lot of fjords.
Yeah, a lot of fjords.
So awesome.
Good stuff.
Well, cool guys.
That looks good.
I think that sums up our day pretty much. This was just a fun way to do a Friday afternoon for us before we go, and we really appreciate you guys being here so late because I know you guys didn't have to do this, but it's really appreciated. We always love having you on.
I think it's midnight for Lars, so more for him, really.
Well, I guess we should wrap it up here then, guys, because I think we met the end and we got to figure out what to do about our audio situation for next time. So there's probably going to be some troubleshooting happening after we wrap this up. But guys, go ahead and plug. Where can people find you? Where can people find Colourlock information? Obviously, they can buy the products from us, but for people maybe who are in your neck of the woods, where can they find it? What can they do?
Yeah, so our website's www.colourlock.com. We're and that's for people in the UK. We're based in Feltham, Middlesex. If you're looking for us on Instagram and Facebook and on YouTube, it's Colourlock UK North America. Of course, that's in the English-speaking world, but in Germany or anywhere else in Europe, Lars, most of the times it'll be
Colourlock.de or lederzentrum.de. And or when you go on Colourlock.com, you can go also on the button information about the company, international partners. Then you will find your partner in your country. So just take a look there. We have over 30 partners across the world. We care for 75 countries directly, and the rest we do from the headquarters. So just take a look on Colourlock.com, international partners, and then you will find a guy. And if any issues, send me an email, lars@thecolourlock.com, and I will care for it. So what we want is a good relationship. We want happy customers, and I'm Ram and me, we are always there for you. So feel free to send an email. We will help you and give you the right person in your area.
Perfect.
Sweet. Thanks guys. We appreciate it. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Dane, take us home.
Okay, guys. So, you know the drill. If you're here and you're not subscribed, go hit that button. Give that subscribe the D so it says subscribed. That's the big thing. Anyway, now that you got that out of the way, we have 2 other channels. You better go subscribe to those 2. I promise there's fun stuff coming out on those if you're remotely interested or you thought, hey, these guys seem fun to talk to. That's where you're going to find it. So, the Rag Company podcast channel, the Rag Company FAQ channel, where you can find short answers to your questions in the form of videos. They get to the point, and they can be very helpful if you're new to detailing, and even if you think you know your way around it, there's some helpful stuff in there for new and old alike. Now, as far as everything else goes, that's it. This was a fun live, and we look forward to doing more. Obviously, next week we'll have our Q&A Thursdays as usual, and our podcast. I think we've been doing that live more. I've been enjoying that, so I think we're going to keep going with that trend. And if you guys enjoy seeing it, you can always find it on the Rag Company podcast channel. Now, everything's out the way. You guys have a great weekend, and that's it from us. So we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. See you guys.